Okay, so now let's move on and let's talk about Miss Hannaford, among others, who came out to respond, to the Puerto Rico garbage comments at the Kamala Harris rally. So, since, you know, Tony from his Kill Tony podcast came out and said, referred to basically Puerto Rico as a floating island of garbage, it seemed like that was the thing to wake a lot of Puerto Ricans up. And I want to give a shout out to Fat Joe. I don't remember where I saw the clip, but I know I saw it somewhere. It's probably on the neighborhood tour. And I didn't want to have to scroll through their million damn posts to try to find the clip. But I pretty much liked what he said in regards of how, when it comes to people of Puerto Rico and how they be so good, my country, my country, my country, and, all of that mess. And then, which you have a right to rep your country. I've always had for people who should take pride in who they are and where they came from and all that other stuff. But then when it comes down to things, you be willing to sell your country up the river for a white man who wouldn't spit on you if you was on fire. Make it make sense. So, oh my gosh. I see, I'm actually on here looking for the video while I'm talking to y'all. But I just read something about an 18-year-old special needs student stabbed to death with a kitchen knife during a fight in a Texas high school bathroom. And then the video was sent around the school. So what is wrong with y'all? Like, y'all be out here murdering people or unaliving people and then filming it and showing it on thing. I guess y'all just really be all about trying to send yourselves to prison. But anyway, to get back to this, so I like the fact that and in fact, Joe was like, these are the same people that look down on me because I'm from the hood and all this other stuff, and I could float wherever. But the way y'all treat your own people, you look down on the I guess we're just gonna have to be upfront with it. The hood rat type of Latinos, the ones that come from the hood and the projects, whatever the case is. But it's like we can't help where we come from. If you're a hardworking person and you trying to pull yourself up by your bootstraps to give yourself and your kids or whatever the case the better life, that should be all that matters. Not you out here trying to assimilate into white culture, which is why I find it funny that you get a lot of Latinos, particularly out of Puerto Ricans, who run around and get mad at you if you don't speak a lick of Spanish. But then again, how you get mad over that? But then y'all be the same ones that try to assimilate into whiteness or your whiteness. So you change up the way you talk. You try to um turn off your accent or learning your native family language and that sort of thing. Shell, I just bought this new charger and it's like a magnet type one. Because my other charger wouldn't work and it just let me know that it was done. I was like, yes, come on, creativity. But anyway, so back to this thing. So I was like, I was here for what he had to say in regards of that situation. Well, you know what? I can't find it. Like I said, it's the neighborhood told me posted so much stuff up on here that it'd be hard to find certain videos and all that other stuff when I be wanting to show y'all some things. So we just gonna have to move on with the show, per usual. So, but let's get to Hannaful. So they said on October 31st, which is Halloween, the Atlas actress endorsed Kamala Harris at her campaign rally in Las Vegas and criticized the Trump campaign for the racially charged jokes made by Tony Hinchcliffe at Madison Square Garden on Sunday, October 27th. Now, here's the thing. Tony Hinchcliffe, for those of you who are not familiar with him, he is an insult comic. I knew this because, like I told y'all, I worked two of his, well, he only had two shows, I believe. I worked his Kill Tony podcast was at Madison Square Garden. He sold out both shows, and I worked both of them. And from what I saw, it was pretty funny, but that's because that's what that required. If you set up a situation where it says we talk about everybody like women, gays, trans, black people, Asian people, that sort of thing. If that's what the show calls for, then okay, we know what we're getting when we come in the room. So just be prepared. Don't get offended and all the other stuff. I get that. However, when you try to bring that kind of thing to a Trump rally, we know what that gives too. And it's kind of like why we have this infighting amongst Democrats and Republicans now, because it's like back in the day in 2016 when people didn't know better and didn't know the type of grifter and hustler that the Trumps are, The reason why a lot of people voted, and I know this because I spoke to a coworker of mine yesterday who told me that he voted for Trump in 2016. He ain't voting for him now. He said he's voting for Kamala, and he's a Republican. But he said back then, because he hated politics, the way that politicians were doing and all the other things, the corruption, all this other stuff that was coming out with politicians, he was tired of all the BS and all this other stuff. And a vote for Trump at that time meant it was anti-politics. He's against the establishment and that sort of thing. That was the thing that people were fed, which is why they went along with it. But when you wake up and you get unplugged from the matrix and you see that Trump ain't no different than them people, it's Don the con. This was all a con act for him. Like, I truly understand if there was somebody out there who was like, you know what, I'm tired of what the Democrats are doing, the Republicans are doing, and here I am with someone who's got money, and I'm not on either side. I'm creating my own little party, and I want to shake things up, and I want to be the change. If somebody was coming from it from that point, then I feel like we be here for trying something new and different. But that ain't what Trump's about. Now, if you vote for Trump now, what that basically says, and this is why there's so much fighting on both sides, that you're racist, you hate women, you don't like LGBTQIA plus people, you don't want rights for anybody, but you just want to live in your racism and your whiteness and all that other mess. That's what a vote for Trump today means. Y'all don't get to hide behind the other shit no more. That don't exist. Now it's all about he's a racist piece POS. That's what Trump is now. So they're trying to shape it up like it's something completely different, that ain't gonna exist. I mean, that don't work no more. So she basically went. So now you got all the Puerto Ricans coming out now, and this is why I said now y'all was real quiet before. It's better late than never, but y'all was real quiet before until somebody says something about y'all. Then you want to get mad, and that kind of irritates me at times. Like, there are people who are politically active, but the only time you get mad is somebody says something about your people. Like, to me, it's just performative. But I guess a win is better than no win, right? So let's take a trip over to Miss Hennifer's Instagram, where she posted a little clip in case y'all didn't see it. And I want to play y'all a little bit of her situation, and then we'll come back and talk. Please hold. Hold on, let me mute that because I don't. There's like, just in case I get demonetized.
Yes! Buenas noches, Las Vegas!
Yes,
now, you guys know I'm no stranger to this town. No. I've been on stage here many, many times. Too many times to count. But this is the most important stage I've ever been on. And let me tell you, it has never felt the way it does tonight. It has nothing to do with me and everything to do with you. The energy in here is just electric. Can you guys feel it? Can you feel it? It's amazing. The election is just 5 days away, and there's so much at stake. The choices facing America now are monumental. And you guys have made this place a city where dreams come true, where people from all walks of life have planted a flag in hopes of creating a better future for themselves and their families. And you are the ones who are going to send the message that Nevada is Harris country. Kamala Harris is running for the people who dream, for the parents working overtime, the kids studying by streetlight, the teenagers practicing in the basement. She's the only candidate that wants to raise the minimum wage and make college more affordable. Keep the Department of Education and even put a teacher in the vice president's job. That's right. On the other hand, her opponent wants to kill the Affordable Care Act and eliminate the Department of Education. Right now, we are on the brink of an election that demands a choice between backwards and forwards, a choice between the past and the future, a choice between divided and united. And if you are anything like me and you value the idea that in this country, any child from any background can not only work their ass off to bring their dreams to life and be able to do so with dignity and respect for their neighbors, then it isn't much of a choice at all. Whether you're from Castle Hill in the Bronx, yes, baby, or Sunrise Manor in East Las Vegas. We all want a world where our kids feel safe and free and valued by their president, because whoever leads this country matters. That's how we make the greatest America. Because I remember growing up thinking my president cared about me, cared about my parents, cared about my neighbors and my community, not just some Americans, but all Americans. I believe that our kids and this wonderfully progressive, innovative, and inclusive young generation deserve that too. And it is in our hands. It's our responsibility to provide that for them.
Okay, so we're gonna pause it there because I think that goes on for about a good 13 minutes. And if y'all want to see the rest, you can either go to her Instagram or you can check it out all over the social media platforms. I believe she also posted on her YouTube. But yeah, so she goes on and says a whole lot more in regards of that. She also said that, you know what? She said at Madison Square Garden, he reminded us who he really is and how he really feels. It wasn't just Puerto Ricans who were offended that day, okay? It was every Latino in this country. It was humanity and anyone of decent character. And Rosie Perez even went in on him too. She did an interview, I think it was, she went on, she was on CNN on one of those channels. It was either that or MSNBC. She was on one of the channels. I think it was, Nicole Wallace, isn't she on MSNBC? Because child, I don't really watch CNN. CNN compare does, you know, with the BS they put on that damn channel. I can't with them. But MSNBC, I think she was on Nicole Wallace's show, and they were having a conversation with all the stuff, and she got up on there, and there was another guy who was a radio host over on La Mega. He was out in Florida trying to get a lot of Puerto Ricans riled up to get out and vote as well, and I guess against Trump. But it shouldn't have taken what Tony Hinchcliffe said and the fact that Trump, you know, arrogant behind, couldn't even find it within himself to back away and say, you know what, those aren't, like, this is not what we believe, and this sort of thing, that what he said was irrehensible and all this other stuff, but that's not in his character because he lacks character. That's not who he is. I mean, this is the same guy that I told y'all that basically, you know, when 9/11 happened, the only thing he could think about was the fact that now he has the tallest building in New York City. That before they told him he had the second tallest building. But once 9/11 happened and we lost the Twin Towers, all he could muster himself up to talk about was the fact that now he has the tallest building. So even back in 2001, you know, the little dick orange turd was running around here worrying about size because that's all he cares about. Because when you lack size in other places, the only thing you can talk about is buildings and things of that nature. And, you know, she also said that she is a proud daughter of Puerto Rico, which is a U.S. island territory, for those of you who seem to not know this. She also noted that we are Americans and this is our country too, so they must exercise our right to vote. I promised myself I wouldn't be emotional. You know what? We should be emotional. We should be upset. We should be scared and outraged. And that's why I said too, is that, you know what? We should take that pain and, you know, exercise that, you know, channel that pain at the voting ballot and vote whichever way you want to vote. Hopefully it's blue, because, you know, red ain't gonna get y'all nothing and nowhere. You already know what green's gonna get you. It's gonna get you 9% of the vote. No shade, but those are the numbers. And you know what? We never experienced or seen anything like a Kamala Harris in office. So why not just give that a chance, you know, of somebody different? Y'all can sit and compare her to Biden. She was the vice president to him. That doesn't mean that her policies are going to remain the same. And if they do, and there's certain things that she can't deviate herself away from, then at least we can get in those rooms and hold her feet to the fire when we want things to get done. You ain't gonna be able to do that with a wannabe fascist dictator getting in office. Like he's already talking about guns and pow-powing not only Liz Cheney, but the media. So anybody who talks about him in the media, he wants them dead. So I guess you want me dead too. Because anybody that talks against you, you don't want us to even be allowed to live. You want a firing squad on us. Now, who talks like that? Dictators. And that's basically the type of world he wants. So, oh, and then another thing with Miss Hannaford, I always try to end on a positive and all of a sudden, but child, I got to throw this other thing up in there. So it did come out that she was leaving somewhere. I can't remember where. She was leaving a hotel. I think it was with security and a whole bunch of other things, some other people. And she was asked her thoughts on Diddy. You know somebody was going to ask her, and she didn't answer. She just put her head down and kept moving, which is pretty much telling. So she tried to distance herself from all this Diddy, shenanigans. But sis, you dated him back in the day, so it's going to be hard to do that. And there was some other model that came out and said that she was hunching Diddy around the time that he was dating Jennifer Lopez. So look, but then again, Jennifer did say that he cheated on her back when they was dating, and she didn't want to be one of those women that is at home with the kids wondering where he's at 3 o'clock in the damn morning. Oh, I'm at the club. First of all, your ass too old to be hanging out some damn club. And I'm not trying to be ageist, but it's at a point like, look, even with me in my 40s, I don't even like clubs. I've been there, done that, water t-shirt, and clubs ain't even that fun anymore. They're boring. Y'all do bottle service, lame as hell. Y'all doing hookah. I'm like, what kind of parties is this? Back in the day, like in the 2000s and stuff, when it was lit up in the clubs, we wasn't doing all that foolishness. We knew how to throw down and have a good damn time without some damn bottle service, paying $500 for some cheap ass bottle. Fuck out of here. Well, look, but the good thing is, if you know the bartenders, which a lot of them were my friends, I could get drunk without having to spend a shit ton of money. So there's that. And yeah, but me, I'm more of a bar and a lounge guy now. I'd rather just go to a lounge and whatever. But if my friends who are drag queens, whatever, are performing at the clubs, then it's like, okay, I'll go and see y'all. But other than that, no, ma'am. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below.